Video game secrets were once some of the most compelling ideas a game could have. Whenever a developer decides to intentionally hide something from the player that either has to be earned or discovered, is something that can only be described as memorable. This has taken many shapes over the years, and has even made certain games more popular because of them. When you finish something and it has one more trick up its sleeve, it could lead to that game being much more enticing to the player. Secrets in video games have been so popular that there even been a huge subset of rumors and legends that certain older titles still have mysteries in them, just waiting to be discovered. But as the years went by, these secrets have seemingly become less prominent, so I want to explore some of these video game secrets and see how they ended up shaping certain games' legacies and why they may not be as popular as they used to be. So, what even is a video game secret? Well, they could really be anything, like a simple reference to other games or media, a hidden level, a cheat code, a new unlockable character, or even an overpowered weapon that destroys everything in one hit. But they're always meant to be hidden, only to be found by the most dedicated players or through a series of YouTube guides.
No nonsense, lightning bolt.
There's a reason why these secrets are very memorable, since these things can add a lot to the experience. Just the idea that the developers add this extra effort into the game for no other reason that it would be cool or fun makes them stand out that much more, and has really elevated certain games. The most well-known video game secret is the Konami Code, which is a famous series of inputs that usually unlocks any number of things depending on the game you're playing. First being introduced in Gradius, but being popularized by Contra, a game that is infamously known to be difficult, since you only have 4 lives and the game doesn't save. So this code graciously gives you 30 extra lives, so you could still not beat the game. The code, up, down, left, right, BA, start, has practically been engraved into video game culture, and novelty t-shirts that no one wants to buy. It is so famous that it's even gone outside the realm of video games, and referenced in other media, all stemming from a simple code. But another game series that really benefited from this phenomenon was Pokemon. These games were extremely popular back in the day, mainly due to its gimmick of catching them all, which you could only do by training with other people, and forcing people with no friends to never be able to do this. Originally, there was only 150 Pokemon in total, but rumors began to circulate that there was one more Pokemon to catch, that being the Mythical Mew. This Pokemon was rare to say the least, only being available through in-store events, but most kids either didn't know that, or weren't lucky enough to be near a store that hosted the event. So for years, there were many rumors as to how you would catch Mew, leading to the interesting legends that we have here. Mew being under the truck is a myth so popular that every Pokemon fan has heard of it. The myth goes as follows. You must surf in this normally obscure area in the map, where you would then use the move Strength on this truck, which would hypothetically push it to the side, and then out pops Mew, allowing you to catch it. This was a lie, of course, but you wouldn't know that unless you actually tried it for yourself. And you know Mew isn't fake because the anime proves that Mew does indeed exist. There's also in-game text that mentions them, so they must be hidden somewhere in the game. You just have to find them. This and many other ideas are what helped fuel the wild speculation among fans and led to Mew having this mythical status. This rumor was so famous that even the developers acknowledged it by actually placing a secret item in one of the remakes. While this myth has been debunked, that didn't matter at the time because the idea of Mew potentially being in the game was more intriguing than actually being able to catch Mew, which led to even more crazy rumors about the game not only hiding Mew, but other even more rare Pokemon, which led to even more crazy theories about the game. So all this crazy fascination with Mew was so intense that it must have been planned from the beginning, right? But that really wasn't the case, since Mew was a last-minute addition, making this whole secret more of a lucky mistake than anything else. It kinda makes you wonder if Mew, or even Pokemon for that matter, would still have this legendary status had Mew been more readily available. Some games have also hidden things for players to find, while other games never actually bothered to add anything at all, but rumors still came flying at them regardless, because the idea of a game hiding something became really fascinating for a subset of players. Such as with Super Mario 64 and being able to unlock Luigi, which isn't possible since Luigi isn't in the game at all. That didn't matter though, since people still tried and failed to unlock him through any means necessary, even if it amounted to nothing. This was later proven to be somewhat true, since Luigi's model was found in an early leaked version of the game, as well as being playable in the DS remake. But unlike Mario 64, other games did hide a lot of things in their games that most people didn't even know were there, like Mortal Kombat. These games were jam-packed with secret oddities, such as the iconic fatalities that could only be performed if you knew the certain button combinations with the current character you were playing, which is a great strategy to get people to waste money on your arcade machine. But even more secret than that was the hidden fightable characters that you could fight every once in a while whenever you played one of these games. the most famous being Reptile, who is just a color swapped version of the other two ninjas, but that was still cool enough that he ended up becoming a mainstay in the series. Mortal Kombat was so good with their secrets that people thought that there was another hidden character named Ermac in the first Mortal Kombat, since that name popped up in the arcade's debug menu. However, that actually wasn't a character at all, but rather an error message that people mistook for a hidden character. This actually led to the developers poking fun at this rumor, constantly referencing Ermac, but they did eventually make Ermac into an actual playable character in the third game, being another color swap ninja. A similar thing happened with the other famous fighting game series, Street Fighter, with the fake character Shen Long. This one is interesting since this rumor came from a mistranslation of the game, with this victory quote from Ryu, stating, "You must defeat Shen Long to stand a chance." This was originally supposed to say Ryu's signature move, Shoryuken, instead of Shen Long, but this mistranslated quote quickly became famous. It was later fixed in later versions of the game, but the quote took a life on its own, with many people trying to find out who this Shen Long really was. Then the magazine Electronic Gaming Monthly, who were responsible for spreading many rumors and hoaxes, published an April Fool's article on how you could fight this legendary fighter, Shen Long, which of course needed to have a series of extremely hard and complex steps in order to fight him. This of course was a hoax, but that didn't stop people from actually trying to find him. While this is all very dumb, Capcom thought it was pretty funny and actually implemented a character similar to Shen Long with Gouken. But it's interesting to note how all this spread from someone being bad at their job. This was just the nature of these type of secrets, whether they were hoaxes or real. It really gave players a sense of wonder that these games could contain anything, because getting information on these games was very limited at the time since the internet was still not widespread. Many people were more willing to believe that these rumors and hoaxes were real, but that was because many games were also full of secrets just waiting to be discovered, such as with Super Smash Bros. Melee, a game that was practically telling you to go after its secrets since half the roster is locked when you first boot up the game. But it really entices you to try and unlock it all, and the more you played it, the more stuff you would unlock. This game was great at keeping the player enticed, which of course led to even more rumors about other secret characters, with EGM also stirring up the rumors. It was this process of discovery that makes secrets really worthwhile, and some of these can be really cool, like the super secret Scarab gun from Halo 2. This is probably the most powerful weapon to ever be put into Halo, so the developers hid it in such a out-of-bounds area that no one who would play the game normally will be able to find it. But somehow, dedicated players managed to find it, and even make full guides on how you too can waste your time. But even so, the journey of getting these things, and the fact that it's in the game at all, is what makes them so special. People will end up calling these type of discoveries as Easter eggs, which is shorthand for a secret or reference that a developer will put into a game, at least as it relates to video games. This is kind of what video game secrets would eventually evolve into, but they're still widely popular, with whole YouTube channels just dedicated to documenting them all. It kind of became the norm for video games to have these super elaborate Easter eggs hidden in them, and because of that, it has kind of taken away a lot of their magic from their earlier counterparts. Sure, some games still have secrets in them that have not been discovered yet, but it hasn't quite reached the levels of legends and hoaxes that used to be so common with older titles. Most people nowadays really aren't going to fall for these hoaxes or legends, at least not as much as they used to, and I have seen less and less developers actually put secrets and hidden characters in their games and were rather locked in behind DLC, or even worse, a battle pass. Sure, some games still have them, but that has become less of the norm over the years, and if there's a secret in a game, it now tends to be more of an Easter egg rather than an actual gameplay mechanic. It is a bit disappointing to see how this has been less prevalent over the years. It doesn't mean that secrets went away completely, but the enthusiasm for them has certainly dampened over the years. I feel like the last time that people actually cared about secrets being put into games was for Five Nights at Freddy's of all franchises. Those games hide story details and even certain jump scares with an extremely slim chance of being able to find them. This has caused the community to dissect every one of those games. Sure, most of the secrets are kind of small in the grand scheme of things, but the secrets are what invested more players into the game and exploded the game into a phenomenon. That and the millions of YouTube videos all constantly trying to unravel the mess that is the lore. Even rumors and hoaxes began to spread when people began to report of fake characters being hidden in the games, sometimes before the game even actually came out. Again, they were fake, but since the games were really mysterious at the time, it led to people believing that these things could have been real. But what I think has truly killed video game secrets is the internet, and people's access to being able to decompile basically any game they want. This has basically made it so any game can have all its details exposed, usually the day of release. leaving very little room for speculation of what could possibly be hidden in the game. This has kinda killed video game hoaxes altogether, because now all it takes for people to actually find out if something is real or not is to see what others have found on the internet. This has also ruined certain game secrets, such as with the Binding of Isaac Rebirth, where data miners were able to discover that there was a hidden character, which upset the creators of the game, since it kinda ruined the fun secret.
So you guys put a lot of secrets in Isaac, and I remember there was a thing about how you don't want people to spoil them. So my question to you guys is, there's a lot of stuff that still hasn't been discovered yet?
People already fucking fucked it up. They all
messed it. They swallowed a $100 steak with one bite.
This is what inspired the developers to make a more elaborate secret for the following update of the game, but it sucks that the original intention for the developers was ruined, and it kinda explains why most developers don't even bother with secrets anymore. I think it's safe to say that video game secrets no longer hold the same feelings as they used to, which I think is a bit of a shame. Still, the impact that some of these gaming secrets have had is quite the spectacle to behold. They can range from pretty cool to pretty dumb, but it's amazing just how much of an impact a game could have if they simply hide something from the player.